My path in fashion started as a student, and while I was studying law, I was selling clothes to my friends at university, and that kind of just really grew and grew and grew. But when I was studying law, South Africa was at a very political time of its life. It was a very turbulent kind of period, and one of the things I didn't want to do is be involved in law but not being able to make a difference. So I started by giving up law and thinking I'm a designer, and that was a very I had a very rude awakening, because I just realized that it's a very, the creative industries, by virtue, I think of it, just the fact that it revolves around expression. It's a very unregulated industry. So I'd come from a very regulated profession to something where there's this complete amount of freedom. It was a very lonely path, because many people in fashion were not accessible, they were not helpful, and I always promised myself, oh my gosh, when I do this, I am so going to help everybody that comes around my way. When I started, I went around many designers who are now my colleagues, and I asked them would they allow me to work with them for nothing. And they were like, no. They weren't prepared to help, they weren't prepared to offer advice. And these things are problems because not necessarily just the nature of people, but it's also the nature of this industry is that they're very close guarded. People are very reticent, they're very scared about collaboration. Very few people, it's only people I feel who are very strong within their own work and their identities are happy to collaborate. When I was looking at the South African landscape of things, I realized they're not really very well regulated. There's no council, there's no fashion week, there's nothing. So I started all of those things because I opened an event company and I used to own these things. And so what I did is I went around and I got all my friends who are in the industry, and I say friends in a very loose way. But the one thing they saw was that I had an idea, and I was saying, look, we don't do it now, it's a problem. You won't be able to control or shape your destiny. For me, as a South African, I find it always so irritating to be geographically confined for inspiration. Always be inspired only by an African print. Always be inspired only by things that happen here. Why? So, that means that if I did a collaboration with Supreme next week, you'd be like, oh, so not you, aren't you being inspired by your own culture and country? People think it's important that for us there has to always be an identity. But what's an identity these days? You have the internet, and everybody taps into that same collective consciousness. Just because you sit in Africa doesn't mean, hey, just you keep on doing your things with zebra prints and cow prints because we think that's cool. So, fashion is just actually a load of shit, to be honest. It's just plastic, it's disgusting. But it also has enormous transformative value. When it is called upon, fashion in the right context and used by the right people can make strong social statements. There's plastic and then there's the reality of things. I'm a unisex ambassador, so my fashion is always about using the shirts as a statement, using fashion to transform a landscape, raise funding. And recently my focus is on education, and the idea is to actually take young minds and take them outside the country, expose them to amazing things outside, and see how those minds in different environments can be nurtured and can come back and pass on the skills and the knowledge that they've learned overseas. So I always have a project, and then we always decide what our end results and the goals are and how we can use the tools that we have at our disposal to deliver on these things. Half of the problem I feel of young entrepreneurs is that they're not supported. They have a vision, they have an idea, and people always look down at it. Instead of embracing them and saying to them, I think that's a cool idea, maybe you should watch for this and this pitfall. Until today, people describe me as a controversial designer. People design outspoken or whatever, and they say those things as if it's a bad thing. I don't really think it's bad. I do think that people at the end of the day will respect you for a viewpoint.